This is the living room at 15 Hamilton Road, Dollis Hill, London, England. There's my mother, Nora, who just come in with the inevitable teapot. There's Joe on the left. And here's my father, Leonard, on the right. We're having a tea, and the topic of discussion at the tea is the upcoming wedding of myself, Ken Fuller, on the left there in the center of the picture, and Josephine, Joe Moore, who was on my right, correction, on my left. And there she is anyway, whichever side of me she is. She's on my side. There's David helping himself to the celery. About to come off with one of those great smiles that he was famous for. And Joe taking it all in. Anyway, Joe and I used to exchange visits. She came up to London and I would go down to Dartmouth, and there's one of my trips to Dartmouth, and we're on the road to the castle. Favorite walk in that area. And here's the pottery that Joe used to work at as a decorator of famous Devonshire pottery. It was Derek Abrams, my best man. And here's Joe arriving with her bridesmaid, Marion Ridout, who later married Derek Abrams and now comes to see us. Very welcome visit to us. Here we are at the end of the wedding, Joe looking great in broderie anglaise dress. And here's the assembled company outside. There's too numerous to mention, but there's young David in the front and my mother and father behind him, walking out of the church now and into the car. There's Aunt Kath just on the left. She's still with us and we correspond from time to time. Now we've come to the reception, greeting people in the line. There's my mother and Aunt Kath again, giving a little toast. There's Pete Sutton, who took some of this film, a friend of mine from apprentice days. The guy who married us, T.G. Watkins. There's Derek, the best man. There he is again. Telling me something, no doubt, bit of advice perhaps. There's Ken Moore on the right of the picture, a young fellow. There's my mother with Dora. There's my father and David on his lap. Now, it's speech time that I've been rehearsing for. And there's Harold, my father-in-law, giving his speech, excellent one. And there's Renee Sweetland, the pianist of this accompaniment, the concert pianist, about to cut the cake. It was made by Joe's mother, Phyllis. Excellent baker. Now we're leaving, and Joe's changed into a grey linen dress with, as I recall, a navy blue straw hat. And we're leaving the hotel, Queen's Hotel, on the front at Dartmouth. There's Wall's garage next door. And young David seeing us off. Harold closing the door. He's kind enough to give us a ride to the train station. There's my mother saying goodbye. There's Prima Standard turning to the right now of the picture. Here we are on the English Channel on our way to France. There's the White Cliffs of Dover. And here's Joe with the wind blowing in her hair. And there's me with the wind blowing in my hair. And it was a beautiful, calm trip out to France. I can't say as much for the trip back. The boat stood on its end and we had the deck to ourselves. On the train going up to Paris, we see some bomb damage there. This was in 1951, of course, and there's an old steam locomotive there. And here we are. This is in Paris on the River Seine, and there's the back of the Louvre, one of the beautiful bridges, one of the many beautiful, simple lined bridges across the River Seine. The base of the Tour Eiffel. We seem to get to the base of a lot of things without actually having the admission to go up them. Once again on the parapet, this time holding a bottle of Vin Extra, the wine of the working man of France. One of the tourist boats down the river, and this man's name is Sten, and he is a friend of this next man here, and we're at the L'École Ceramatique. That's Guy Barrault, who was at the pottery when Joe was there, when I knew her there. Now we're in the Jardin des Tuileries, and there's Joe taking a stroll with me not far behind with the camera. The beautiful statues in the Jardin. The fish in the pool. And Joe's just pointing out, I think, L'Arc de Triomphe at the end. You can't quite see it. We're now in the Place de la Concorde with a gendarme, who's not actually a gendarme, he's a Paris policeman directing traffic in their particular way that they have. Now here's the end of the Avenue des Champs-Élysées, and Joe strolling down it. And unfortunately, this is the end of our film, except to point out the little white mark there, which is indicative of the 95th